It was worse than he feared. The call may actually be too strong to break this time. This isn't you. Fight it! Mesphit fought him instead. He swiped at Saren, sending him reeling. Blood seeped from the fresh wounds. Betrayal and disbelief almost blinded him. But Saren knew better. He knew that Mesphit was fighting, and that he could bring him out of it. He had to. Don't do this. You are a proud dark elf and your father's son. Mesphit made another swipe at him, but he jumped out of the way. Listen to me. Can you hear my voice? Mesphit, hear me. He barely got all of his words out of his mouth before the elf grabbed at him. Mesphit viciously pulled Saren forward and then lifted him off the ground. Saren groaned against the mortal feeling. Please. Saren could barely breathe. He was about to black out, but he kept eye contact with Mesphit. He wouldn't falter. If Mesphit was going to kill him, then he would know the face of his demise. Saren was tossed viciously to the ground. Air returned to his lungs, but he could only see bright white. It took him a long moment to recover his sight and look for Mesphit's next attack. But Mesphit was not there. The dark elf had run off again, and the wounds that he had given Saren took away all of his strength. Maybe even his life. He didn't want to die that way. He wanted to save Mesphit. He didn't want to be hurt by him. The fact that he couldn't hear his voice was more devastating than he ever imagined. That he ever imagined. His last thoughts had been that of the dark elf, not the demon. Saren woke up, though he hadn't expected to. He was in a bed and bandaged thoroughly around his torso and arms. His body screamed as he moved, reminding him of what happened. He knew he should have stayed in bed from the way his body ached, but not knowing about Mesphit's fate drove him up and searching. The city has been cleansed, but Mesphit has not been found. We found you alone and nearly dead. Saren, I'm so very sorry. We should have killed him when we had... No! No! He swallowed and tried to ignore the burning pain coursing through him. I don't regret anything. Mirth's eyes were heavy as she looked at him with pity. Many demons have fled back into the mountains. Maybe he is among them. Saren was beyond grateful for her tip. There was no way he was going to rest in a bed while Mesphit threw himself away. He notified Loren, and ignored her pleas as he headed straight for the Everburn Mountains. Saren traveled as fast as he could to the Dark Mountains. The search was hard on his body, and many times he wanted to stop and give up, but something else would always kick in and he would continue his search. He almost couldn't process the sight of finally finding what he was searching for. It was Mesphit, but he had shed his dark elf garb as if he truly believed he was a demon now. Only Mesphit's name managed to pass from Saren's lips before he collapsed in pain. The demon Mesphit turned to see Saren on the ground and stared blankly at him. Saren groaned and grabbed his wounds. He was starting to realize how grave they really were. Mesphit turned around and completely to look at Saren in pain on the ground. Mesphit walked over to Saren and eyed him curiously. Saren could not believe that Mesphit barely recognized him. A pain from deep within started to overshadow his surface injuries. Saren used all of his strength to sit up. Mesphit began to look conflicted. Mesphit. Saren wished harder than he ever did for anything for Mesphit to shake out of his thrall right then. Saren's fingers almost touched Mesphit's arms. He was so close. His vision tunneled and his head spun. Saren fell backwards onto the ground again. But a hand was now grabbing his. Mesphit had caught his hand as he fell, and was starting to realize what he was seeing. Saren? Hearing his own name never felt so wonderful. Saren! Mesphit's voice grew more panicked. He crouched next to Saren and looked over him in horror. I did this to you. You broke through. Saren smiled briefly before he winced in pain, but the knowledge that Mesphit had pulled away from the demon's call so near Everburn proved that he was right about him. Mesphit had the power to overcome it now and forever. Nice. Mesphit's demon features subsided and he leaned over Saren in agony. Why did you come here? Why won't you let me go? Saren grabbed at a bleeding wound. Mesphit opened his armor to see the damage more clearly. The sight disgusted Mesphit. Isn't this enough? Haven't you had enough of me? I barely even started to have enough of you. Mesphit looked hardened and he stared down at Saren. Why? Saren closed his eyes instead of responding. Why? Someone has to care that much for you. I want it to be me. Oh! Saren stopped responding, and that made Mesphit shift uncomfortably. The dark elf lifted Saren's head off the ground and whispered to him softly. No one has fought for me as hard as you have. I cannot understand it, and I will tell you to stop at every chance I find. I threw away any chance of peace with someone like you, and I tainted my blood in search for power. You may be saving me, but you're destroying yourself. Saren's hand found Mesphit's arm. The touch forced Mesphit to close his eyes. Is that what you want? Pain filled Mesphit's hushed voice. A tear fell from his eye and onto Saren. Whoa! Here we are. Mesphit pressed his forehead against Saren's. The tears began to form in the corner of Saren's eyes. Saren pulled at Mesphit, telling him that he still wanted it, even though it would be difficult at times, even though it would be dangerous. Mesphit whispered Saren's name just before their lips touched. For that moment, all the pain and darkness inside of them was there no longer. Saren slowly rediscovered his strength as he wanted to reciprocate. He wanted Mesphit to know the extent of his feelings, and he wanted to learn exactly what they were himself. His attachment to Mesphit had developed quickly and intensely, but Saren knew that it was real. It was more than just what was on the surface. There was a passion and a will stronger in Mesphit than in any person Saren had ever met. That passion slowly began to manifest itself as their mouth moved faster with each kiss. Mesphit held Saren's body close to his, but gingerly. Saren had to show Mesphit that he didn't need to be treated so cautiously. He had managed to get this far. He was willing to go a little further. Even though Mesphit warned Saren to stay away, it was clear that he needed him close, and closer still. Their time together in the glow of Everburn helped Saren to recover what he had lost on the way there. He was able to stand again with time. Mesphit helped him all the way back to Hammerhands, not once hinting that he would leave his side again. Oh, look at that. Yay! My second choice was Amukiki, with my third choice being Draco. I love all three of them, I really do. But I just felt way more invested, comparatively, way more invested to Mesphit and his story. And so I had to go for Mesphit for my main playthrough of this. Woo! Achievement unlocked. Next to you, romance. Set Mesphit with Saren. Nice. After much soul-searching, the entire party was prepared to face the trials ahead of them. Mirth returned from her divination with Apollomesho. She revealed that Foss had a secret lair underneath his castle, which was crucial information. Loren arranged for the army to mobilize in the morning. They had but one more day to train and one more night to rest, and then it would be all over. Make way for the caravan! A long string of wagons rolled into Hammerhands, laden with crates, barrels, and heavily armed men. What are these wagons doing here? The city has been evacuated. We know that, and we know... Who's that handsome ginger? Alright, in the next playthrough, I'm romancing that guy. We know that, and we know all about the war going on. We're not stupid, so we wanted to help out. The other merchants and I got together our best supplies, and we want to offer them to you. That's great, thank you. For a price, of course. Of course. Yeah. Mercenaries. Have you men come to fight? We might have. Might. We're not gonna risk our lives for nothing, you know. They grinned, showing that they were true blades for hire. Whatever. Hire 1,000 golds. We have the money to pay, so I will pay you your dirty fee, but only because coin will be useless if we fail this next battle. Take it with my resentment. Gold is gold, lady. We are now under your command. We'll try to behave. Loren ignored their seediness, knowing that the war on Everburn was worth any cost, and needed the help of any hands, even those of bandits. Nice. Alright, so supposedly we've got some good stuff. Well, let's see. Bow of Tremor. Potion of Minor Haste. That's actually pretty good. Scroll of Major Haste. Heavy Explosive Bomb. I might be interested. We'll see. Mort's Mantle. I mean, these are not all that impressive, actually. But I probably will get Two-Handed Sword, Death Knight. Morning Star of Ice. Do I feel like price discount? I don't know if this is necessarily better than what I have right now. That's the problem. Yeah, I don't really need any of these things, honestly. Maybe a Scroll of Haste. Major Haste. Sure. And then Scroll of Major Restoration. Just in case, I guess. 105. Heavy Explosive, Potion of Minor Haste. Heavy Explosive Bomb. Does 150 hit points of damage to every row full of enemies. Why not? Buy more Major Haste. We'll just buy these. Whatever. Whatever. Alright. Proceed. The time had come. War drums sounded in the morning. Loved ones kissed the soldiers goodbye or traded longing looks across formation, ready to end the war so that they could give each other a better tomorrow. In the morning, the armies assembled and were given march orders. The Grand Army was to march right into Everburn and conquer the day. It was up to Princess Loren to lead her army against the evil forces. She had to give instructions to each army, knowing that each one had their limits, and if they could not succeed, she would have to intervene. The first wave of demons residing in the Smoky Mountains revealed themselves. It was time for her first call. Reviewer said, part of say. Nice. So I think my main, let's figure this out. The main group, I'm going to throw in Loren, because, Loren and Saren have to be in the main. That's pretty much a given. I want my boo, Mesphit, to be in there too. Sauser is by far probably one of my favorite combat characters, because he's just awesome. Sorry, Loren. Shambara is just a powerhouse magician, and so is Apollomesho. So I don't want to use those characters up immediately, so I'm going to throw up these people to start. Trouble's just an awesome character, so I'll throw Trouble up. We'll throw Doran. Yeah, there we go. So this is a good thing. Let's start with this group. Next opponent, Demons. Choose an army to attempt this battle. Oh, interesting. Chances of winning 70%. So 70%. Interesting! This is very interesting. Let me save before I do anything else. Human army, Elven army. Let's start with the human army to start us off. Yeah, let's start with the human army to start us off. Loren ordered the human army to attack. They were victorious. The army advanced toward Faust Castle. A pack of Inferno Hounds worked their way from the crags and boulders. They snapped their huge teeth and blazed with a deadly fire. Review repaired to set up. No, that's fine. Hellhounds, weak. Dwarven troops. Sure, Dwarven troops. Loren ordered the Dwarven troops to attack. They were victorious. The army advanced towards Faust Castle. Ghastly creatures crawled out of dens as the army marched past, incurring their wrath. Undead. I would think that the Disciples of Truth, they're monks, So, they're monks, so I'm gonna throw the monks at them. Loren ordered the Disciples of Truth to attack. They were victorious! Yeah, monks of truth! The army advanced toward Foss Castle. The army was pelted with swarms of drakes screeching, biting their skin. Drakes. Oh my. Very strong. I mean, throw the mercenaries at them. I don't think the mercenaries are gonna win. Loren ordered the mercenaries to attack. I gotta save the elves for the end. Oh wow, they were victorious! Wow, good job, mercenaries. I'm glad I paid good coin for you. Lumbering golems blocked the path further up the mountain. They looked extremely formidable and unwilling to move unless by force. I don't think the Dark Elves are gonna make it. We're probably gonna have to fight these. Loren ordered the Dark Elves to attack. They were... Really? Good lord, our army is amazing. The army advanced towards Foss Castle. At the top of the mountain, walking skeletons in arcane robes waited for them. They were likely expert magic users and bent on murdering every last one of them. Review our party. I mean, magic users, that's fine. I might throw Saren in there, just because. No, I'm gonna take my chances. Elven army, 55% chance of winning. Loren ordered the elves and army to attack. They were victorious. The army advanced toward Foss Castle. Finally. That was amazing. Yes! Yes! Good job, Loren. Finally, Loren's army reached the top of the mountain. The soldiers wiped out every evil hive, den, and hollow. The brooding congregates were purged. Every demon was dealt with, and the road to Foss Castle was finally clear. They would have to find a secret lair within. At the gates of the Twisted Castle, they feared that they would find what they would find within, and who would not walk back out. Loren split the heroes from the army and opened the doors to the castle herself. Inside was the crumbling interior of a mistreated building. The heat was almost insufferable. This castle was built upon the tallest volcano. It will only get hotter from here on. I know I'm a fire mage and all, but even I think this is too much. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Major bonus points if you know what that is referencing. Everyone looked back to Mirth. He is behind a door that mortals cannot see. He is underneath us now, in the heart of the volcano, but the entrance is sealed with death magic. I can sniff that out for you. The useless Dark Witch just has so many uses, it seems. Really, is it that simple for you? Death is my middle name. Now let's see. It is right over there. She pointed at a solid wall, but she smiled confidently. Don't all rush over at once. Are you positive, witch? Don't trust me? Fine. I'll kill Faust myself. Shambara brisked past them and up to the wall. She looked back only once to roll her eyes and then easily slipped through the wall and disappeared. I love her so much. She's gone! No, I'm not. Just step through, you babies. It looks like Shambara was quite helpful. Saren cast a judgmental look on all those who doubted her. Meh. One by one they broke through the illusory wall and walked into pitch black. Draco lit the tunnel with fire magic, allowing them to wind through the tunnel deeper into the volcano. The heat of the magma was growing more unbearable with each step, but they pressed on, knowing the importance of their mission. Eventually, the tunnel emptied into a room of boiling lava. What? Welcome to the mouth of the inferno. Dora screeched and jumped onto Ramus. Who is that? They did not see anyone or anything in the cavern, but a haunting voice filled their ears. I am Faust. Saren shivered, coming into direct contact with the greatest demon of all. It was Faust's fault that the world was falling apart. Step out and meet your end. Bone-chilling laughter followed and seemed to bounce off the walls around them, but no figure was in sight. Where is he? He's cloaked in death magic. Can you sense him, Shambara? I cannot. This is weird. There's no one here that I can tell. Then it is as I suspected. He is not in this realm. I am here, I promise you. I am here, and I will soon be everywhere. Death will consume your civilizations. The fires from Everburn will fill your rivers and dry your sea. The world will return to how it should be, and the gods will have no one left to challenge us. For you have done well in gathering the strongest in the land and bringing them straight into my hands, where I will crush them. No, your minions are few and scattered. We have decimated your forces. Demonic laughter sounded again. The living are so greatly flawed. Fools, you think you have won. You have yet to meet my army. The floor shook and rocks broke from the ceiling, disrupting their balance. What you feel is the rise of my kin. The rift between realms is widening. What? There's even more demons? No, more death knights. Ooh. The volcano shook again. Everyone shuddered at Faust's bellowing. He's lying. There are no more. We have him cornered, so he has no other choice but to deceive us. But what if he's right? What if he really has another line of defense that we didn't account for? He's lying. The cavern shook violently once more. Now is the dawn of our return. Aravorn returns to the hands of the dead. The quake did not stop. The ceiling began to fall apart around them. Watch out, the walls are crumbling in. We have to get out of here. No. Loren. Saren dodged a large stalactite that crashed right in front of him. Come out and fight me. Loren screamed to the darkness, but Faust did not answer. Loren, we must leave. You will be crushed. Don't you see? This is what he wants. Daughter, hurry! A booming crack above them shot Saren's gaze up just in time to see the entirety of the ceiling splintered and ready to fall. Time slowed. No! Mesphit ran for Saren, but he could not reach him before an avalanche consumed them all. Oh. Rocks fall. People died. Elves have secured the eastern range. Perfect. With Loren and her troops straight up the middle. They have nowhere else to run but into the ocean. Demons can't swim, can they? A dwarf ran up to the general, panting for dear life. What's wrong? The demons! More demons! Say again. You just had the western ridge under control a moment ago. The east is falling. The demons are overwhelming us. Samael looked past them into the distant armies. Waves of new demons were swarming the armies. The ground shook. Earthquake! More messengers joined, with more distress calls and reports of monstrous warriors that no one had ever seen before. Everyone grew dead quiet, watching their armies fend off untold evils. How could this happen? I underestimated him, and we're playing by his rules now. Can we win? It doesn't matter if we can or we can't. We've come too far to quit now. We're here to slaughter these beasts into the next realm or we die. I won't live to see them take our homes. So we just throw our lives away. No, Tobar. We're fighting for the lives that were already taken. Images of their once smiling children flashed in their minds and pierced their hearts. Tobar took in a deep breath and faced the city of the dead. Yes, we'll fight. We'll fight them straight to Inferno. We're already there as far as I'm concerned. So let's show them everything we've got. Back to your posts. Yeah, exciting. Rallying the troops. This is the final stand. Saren took a breath, and then another, and another. He was alive. Or was he? Pebbles stuck to his cheek as he lifted his head from the cold ground. Saren almost felt like he were in a dream, limbs twice as heavy and his vision was blurred. What he did see was that he was still in a cavern, one that looked very much like the lair of Faust. Saren's in the Upside Down, you guys. But it was different. It was ethereal, as if frozen in time, except it was whole, like the ceiling had never crumbled down. It was also empty. Saren struggled to stand, grasping his body in pain. On the off chance that this was not the afterlife, he still needed to kill Faust, and that meant finding his friends. Loren? He hobbled a few steps into the glow of the cavern, his head spinning. Loren! Loren? Loren? Saren was startled to hear another voice. He whipped around to see Karen standing on the other side of the lair. You are a sight for sore eyes. Where is everyone else? Where are we? Saren ran up to Karen, overjoyed to see her. Karen swung her spear directly at him. the sharp tip barely an inch from his face. "Who are you?" Saren swallowed and held his hands up in the air. "Is that a joke? Because it's not very funny." "You are not Saren. You are an imposter." "What?" "I've already met you." "You're not making any sense." "Help me, please, it hurts so much." "Help me." They both turned to see Dora trapped under a large rock. "It's crushing me. Don't just stare at me. Help me." Saren jerked forward to help Dora, but Karen grabbed hold of his shoulder to stop him. "Things are not as they seem. Do not trust anyone." "Including you, Karen?" Dora started crying, so Saren ripped himself from Karen's grip. "Don't worry, I'll get it off you." "Stop! Stop!" Before he got a chance to reach Dora, her voice called to him from another direction. Another Dora ran into the cavern. "Don't go over there. It's a trap. The ceiling will just collapse again." "She's lying. Don't listen to her." Saren staggered back, taking in the clone. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Well, we know which one's the real Dora because there's New Dora, and then there's Dora in blue. So I can tell which one is which. Saren staggered back, taking in the clone. Something was wrong. Very wrong. How can this be possible? "Kill her." What? "One of them is Faust. One of them is trying to kill you. Kill her before she kills you. Just ask them, what's the name of your son, Saren? What's the name of my son?" "What? No." "Help me, please, it hurts." "Don't just stand there, kill her. Don't just stand there, kill her." "Why? I'm your friend. Saren, I'm the real Dora. I know because, because I've got the blue, Dora on my name." "I'm not going to kill anybody." Help the trapped Dora. Saren ignored the other Dora's protests and rushed to lift the rock from the dwarf. "Hold on. Watch out!" Rumbling sounded overhead, and Saren immediately knew that he had made the wrong choice. Uh-oh. The Dora under the rock became motionless until she finally blinked out of existence. "Dummy!" Saren was shoved out of the way just as another large chunk of ceiling crashed down on top of both versions of Dora. Saren yelled in horror, not waiting for the dust to clear. He pushed through the new debris, looking for at least one of them. "Dora, no!" He lifted up rock after rock and found no one. "Where is she?" "She's gone. You failed her test." Saren panted, his heart now full of sorrow. "Oh, no!" "I killed her." "No, she's not dead. She's been removed from this realm." "Realm? Did we leave our realm?" "This is the Underrealm. Apollomesho said that Faust may have been hiding in another realm. Faust sent us here." "Or we are dead." "No, we are not dead yet. If the undead can crawl out of the inferno, then so can we. Let's go find the others." Saren charged towards a doorway in the cave, prepared to search every room in that underground lair. The tunnels connecting each cavernous room were long and narrow, and the heavy-headed feeling of the dream world did not ease their passage. It took all of Saren's focus to keep from making himself sick simply from walking through them. At last they came upon someone. Saren found Draco searching a wall and scratching his head. "Draco?" He called softly so he wouldn't startle him, but the mage sprang up anyway. "Saren!" The mage beamed ecstatically and dashed up to him. "I was so scared. Wow, I'm glad you found me. I've been trying to climb this wall for forever." Draco held out his dirty hands. Saren couldn't see another Draco anywhere. "Is there only one of you?" Yes? Is that a bad thing?" "No, I think that's a very good thing. Come on." Saren didn't have much time to consider if there was a game afoot since time was running out. Hopefully he is the real Draco. We'll see. I got it wrong last time, apparently. Saren ran into the next room, spotting Apollomesho on the floor. He was sitting down, cradling someone in his lap. It was a younger woman, her eyes closed. "Apollomesho?" Saren looked over at Draco from the unusually dark way he said the wizard's name. He looked back at Apollomesho for a response. "We are in the Underrealm, are we not?" "It's looking that way." Apollomesho nodded and then stroked the woman's hair. "We're trying to find the others so we can get Faust, like you said." We're trying to find the others so we can get Faust, like you said." The wizard showed no signs of getting up. "Do you understand? We have to go now." "Go on without me." "Sir? This is my daughter." Apollomesho finally looked up at Saren, pain in his every feature. "No, you have to leave." Saren jumped from how scary the old man became.